Chelsea is a team that usually would play very well in matches and then they would lose because of costly individual mistakes or defensive errors. But in this Everton game, this was a game that Chelsea lost because they were outplayed, outfought, and outthought. It took 15 minutes for me to draw the conclusion that this is not a game that Chelsea will get anything out of. In fact, Chelsea, apart from the players looking very knackered, the entire configuration did not even look like Chelsea. This is one thing that actually picked me around the first 10 minutes of the game. This was like 6 minutes into the game, the 7th minute of the game. And then Everton are trying to like pass out from the back and build up and all that. And look at the movement of the Chelsea players. They are getting into a 4-4-2 defensive shape. This is not the Chelsea we are used to. If you follow any Chelsea analysis, especially in this first moment of the game, Chelsea will harry you, they will press you. I think Chelsea has probably one of the best passes per defensive action in the league. They will press you high up, go man for man, force you to turn over the ball high up on the pitch. But all through this game, especially in the first half, Chelsea were more laid back, trying to defend. And I think I said this about Xabi Alonso before he was sacked at Real Madrid, that when a manager abandons his tactical principles and his tactical philosophy and is now playing very basic football, just know that the manager is under pressure and is starting to feel the pressure. Rosinho is feeling the pressure. Chelsea players are feeling the pressure as well. That is the only thing that will account for these errors in the game. Let me show you a few things. First one was here, where I think it was Hato receiving the ball and for no reason just gave it straight back to Everton. Look at it again. This one was Caicedo again. Innocent Chelsea build up. Caicedo received the ball. I don't think that Caicedo is under a lot of pressure here. When he plays as a double pivot, this is how he usually receives the ball, with his facing his own goal. It's usually good in situations like this. He had options. There's a lot of things he could do with the ball. He took it first time, and that pass went nowhere at all. Chelsea lost possession, and then they're immediately under pressure again. All these things happen in the early minutes of the game. I can show you a lot of them like this. I think if you looked at Lavia did a couple himself. Fofana did one himself as well. Just looks as if Chelsea players were playing with a weight in their legs. This is a sign of pressure. Players who are under pressure, they know that they are underperforming. At some point in the late part of the game, I saw Enzo Fernandez. I couldn't find that clip again. Enzo Fernandez basically just bending down on the pitch. Like he was exhausted. This is not exhaustion from being tired. This is exhaustion from being mentally weighed down. But take nothing away from Everton, because Everton's defensive organization in this game was top-notch. They looked like a team that were going to beat Chelsea right from the very onset of the game. I mean, let me show you something. We know how Chelsea likes to build straight through the middle. Like have Kopama and Enzo Fernandez receiving the ball behind the line. Look at how easily Everton dealt with that. Of course, this is easily one of those build-up. And then if you look at highlighted here, this is Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez wants to go and take a position behind that Everton's first line of pressure. And if you look at Kopama here, Kopama has done the same thing, but he has a player with him. And this player stayed with him all through the game. And then if you look up again, Enzo Fernandez had Idrissa Gueye with him. And Idrissa Gueye stayed with him for most parts of this game. But now watch the exchange that takes place here to understand Everton's defensive organization. When he goes down, Idrissa Gueye did not stay to be pressing Cucurella. He went with his man. And then if you look on this other part again, Kopama still has a player with him. Of course, given that there is no option in the middle again, if you look closely, you can see Joao Pedro trying to step up into that gap. And in doing so now, of course, his defender is going to step up with him. What Enzo Fernandez wants to do now is to go into that gap that will be left by these two players. But as soon as he gets there, Tarkowski follows him out immediately. But once he spots the run of Enzo Fernandez, he was tracked, went back to make sure that he closes that space, and then immediately you can see it is a guy has now shifted focus. He has not shifted his focus. He's now looking at Joao Pedro, who has entered into that midfield now. While Tarkowski is going to go on to Enzo Fernandez. And then, of course, the whole space for Chelsea is closed out. That central progression that Chelsea like to have, they did not have it in this game because of Everton's compactness at the back. And what was more telling and worrying is that Chelsea were second to every loose ball. They were second to every 50-50 ball. It just seemed as if the players were feeling a lot of pressure and they were weighed down. And unfortunately for them, they played against an Everton side that came to win. And it was a well-deserved thrashing. Everton were a better team from start to finish. They controlled the game. In the second half, Rosinho tried his usual trick. When the center could not work, he tried to bring players out wide, bring wingers into the game. It didn't help either because Everton simply went into a back five and they could double up on those wingers. It just wasn't going well for Chelsea. But again, Rosinho is feeling pressure. What remains to be seen now is how he copes or how he deals with that pressure. Will he do it? I don't know, but we will see till the end of the season. Liam Rosinho is under pressure. He is under pressure. I said something shortly before Madrid sacked Xabi Alonso. I said that when a manager abandons his tactical principles and starts playing basic football, know that that manager is under pressure and his days are numbered. And I'm going to say the same thing about Liam Rosinho here today. Rosinho is feeling the pressure now. The heat is turning up. When he was appointed as Chelsea manager, I didn't criticize him for his tactics. I thought his tactics were okay. But my criticism then was, the question I asked was, does he have the experience and the gravitas to manage a team like Chelsea when the pressure is turned up? This is what we are seeing. And I said that the next 5 matches will help us determine whether Rosinho is ready for this job or not. He has failed woefully at the first hurdle. At the very first hurdle, he has failed woefully. His players are under pressure. He looks to be under pressure. He had no answer for everything thrown at him. It's not going to get easier. They can beat Port Vale. I don't know, but I would also say it even in the FA Cup. If this team goes to the FA Cup with this same mentality with which they approach this Everton team, they would lose. They will lose to second division or third division team. They would. They're not going to beat Manchester United like this. In terms of current form, Manchester United is the best team in the league right now in terms of form, at least over the last 10 matches. But again, this is where we are. I'm not Rosinho out yet. Don't get me wrong. I'm not Rosinho out. I think that every manager deserves time. He came into the club at the middle of the season. I don't think he has had enough time to work with the players. But this is not a tactical issue. I must emphasize that it's not a tactical issue. This is a mentality issue now. And Rosinho cannot have time to fix a mentality issue. He has to at least show some signs of improvement, be able to get something out of the players. Otherwise, I don't think Chelsea would even make Europa League, to be honest. I don't think they will make Europa League. But I don't know. Your thoughts, though?